Magyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Nilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya De Satarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurati Se Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvashya Kripa Sindhu Vya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Hare Krishna. Yes, I'm so happy to meet with all devotees. Some devotees are missing, some devotees are there. Okay, yes. Anyone remembers? We will little bit for 5 minutes discuss what we discussed last class. Yes, Nidhi Mataji is very fast to raise the hand. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Pranam.
Dandava.
Last class we were discussing that Krishna is our only shelter.
Okay.
Relatives are our shelter, but that the power to give shelter to the relatives is given by Krishna only. So Krishna is our only shelter, and that is a permanent shelter, and that shelter we can only get if we realize that Krishna is giving us shelter.
Okay.
I mean, he will not come and give us shelter that way, but we have to realize that Krishna is giving us shelter, and the more we are convinced that Krishna is giving us shelter, the more shelter we will feel in our life.
Okay, very good. I think this we discussed last class about shelter, but whatever it is, we discussed in some of the last classes. Very good. We discussed about how Krishna is our only shelter. Krishna only can give us shelter. Yes, very good. Yes, Kushal Vihari Prabhu.
We discussed in last class that as a father, mother, guru, a spiritual master, a wife, what is our responsibility? So as Paschimad Bhagavatam we were discussing Mata na Sasya, Pita na Sasya, that shloka, that if we cannot take our subordinates, our followers to the spiritual, we cannot get rid them of this material entanglement, then we are not qualified to be father, mother, etc.
Yeah, this is the first thing we discussed last class about how we have a responsibility. Sometimes we think that as superiors, we have a responsibility of roti, kapda and makan. Once the roti, kapda, makan is set for our dependents or for our people who are relatives and all, once we have arranged that, then I have done my duties. How many of you think that 99% of the people in this world think like this? That as soon as you arrange roti, kapda, makan for your wife, children, husband, the wife thinks as soon as I arrange some prasadam for my husband in time and do something whatever he is demanding, then husband is happy, I am happy. The parents, they think if I arrange some good education, if my child is able to stand on his or her leg and get some job, set, I have done my duties. But Srimad Bhagavatam goes beyond of what is the definition of real duty. Because if I am supposed to, let's say Sri Nitai Das is supposed to get some prasadam. If Sri Nitai Das is supposed to get some prasadam at 6:15 today morning, no matter whatever, whether you arrange or don't arrange, I am going to get it. Similarly, our kids or our dependents, if they are destined to get something, they are only going to get it. Sometimes we have seen that a father is a billionaire and the son is the most biggest muff, number one, loafer, correct? Have you seen that? He does nothing. So we have to understand that though we may endeavor for helping our dependents to fulfill the material duties, but we have to understand that beyond material duties, we have a very important responsibility to play as superior. That is to help them go ahead in their spiritual journey. So we think that this life is all in all, whatever we see. This body, whatever we see in front, our wife and children or ourselves, is all in all, everything. But we have to understand beyond the body, there is the soul which is in a spiritual journey. And as superiors, it is our responsibility to facilitate in the spiritual journey. Now, as Kushal Bihari Prabhu is telling, it may be possible that our dependents or those who are taking help from us, they may in this life only go back to Godhead, or in this life they may not be interested in Krishna consciousness, but at least because of our influence they may get prasadam. Like say for example, I'll give an example. Let's say some husband is there who is not interested in bhakti, but he is ready to support his wife for all the devotional service. So what the wife should think, very nice, my husband is supporting me, finished, my duties are over, let me practice bhakti, go back to Godhead, let this person remain here only. What the wife should think, anyway this husband is not interested for practicing bhakti, chanting, reading, hearing, attending classes, let me give him lot of prasadam. At least before I leave this planet or before I leave him, I will ensure that he gets sufficient prasadam so that he next life he is more interested in bhakti. So in this way the wife is not just thinking herself as this body which she has got as a wife of someone, but she is thinking as spirit soul. She is also thinking the husband is also a spirit soul. Let me help as much as possible this living entity in his spiritual journey. How much I can help? We cannot ensure that everyone goes back to Godhead this life, because ultimately it is also dependent on one's personal sincerity, right? But at least the guru, the teachers, the parents, everyone should ensure that we can help as much as possible a personality in the spiritual journey, right? Of how much ever he can come closer to Krishna. So this is something which we discussed elaborately. Yes, there is one raise of hand, Pavan Krishna Prabhu or Sanjukta Mataji. Yeah. Please speak. Speak. Your awaz is like as if yesterday you did Nirjal Ekadasi. It is good, but I think you are not taking good prasadam, but still you can continue.
We have to take center of Vrindavan. If we want to see Krishna, we have to take center of Krishna.
Very good, very good. So this is one thing we are also discussing about, that we need to take shelter of Vrindavan, and we need some amount of detachment in life. It's not that and the detachment that is expected in by Srila Prabhupada is so simple. Chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles, which we can do anyway. So, so this detachment is not that we have to give up so many things. It's made very simple by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Follow the 4 regulative principles and chant Hare Krishna regularly. And we need to take shelter of Vrindavan, as Srila Prabhupada was mentioning in the purport. Yeah, we remembered. Yes, anyone else? Last thing we discussed, one more thing we discussed. Yes, Bihari Govind. Yes, Madhur Kohli Prabhu.
We saw that Dhruva Maharaj, why the initial contamination was there, but he was desired to get the love of Krishna was very, very strong. And that was an important lesson, that we must, even the contamination is high, our desire should be very strong. That's how only we have to come out.
Yeah, so this is something which we are going to elaborately discuss today. That desire, our externals may be contaminated, but our internal desire to attain love for Krishna should be very, very strong. Yeah, correct. So yes, Bihari Govind Prabhu.
Yes, similar lines. Once we are seeking shelter from Guru, we have to get the direction of Hari or Lord. We have to seriously take the direction given by Lord, our Guru, and follow them.
Yeah. So this is something which is discussed in the end, that how we should really respect and have reverence to the spiritual master, just like Narad Muni, without being informed, he came to help. Otherwise, without the help of Narad Muni, there is no question for Dhruva to go back to Godhead. So, we have to similarly understand that the Guru comes in the life of a person, and the person should also understand that this personality has come to rescue me from this mess of the material world. So if the person understands this, then he will take the words of the spiritual master very, very seriously. The spiritual master is not an ordinary person, and only by satisfying the spiritual master one can get love for Krishna. Why the spiritual master is not an ordinary person? Because it's the spiritual master who comes to our rescue. Krishna will never come to our rescue. Now Dhruva Maharaj is not an ordinary soul. You see what is the level of generation Dhruva Maharaj is. Brahma's son is Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu's son is Uttanapad. Uttanapad's son is Dhruva. Matlab, from Vishnu, it is the 4th generation. We are how many generations from Vishnu? We don't even know. Correct? We are like myself, my biological family comes from Kashyapa Grotra. Matlab, we are from Kashyapa Rishi. But we don't know. Kashyapa is also born from Brahma and all those, but our generation, if I take my down generation, when it will reach to Vishnu, we don't know. But Dhruva Maharaj at least can count in his hand to Vishnu. He can reach, okay, Dhruva, Uttanapad, and then Swayambhuva Manu, then Brahma, then Vishnu. He is from the 5th generation of Vishnu. मतलब दादा के परदादा, दादा परदादा, परदादा में विष्णु आते हैं. At least he can count and reach to Vishnu. We can't even count and reach to Vishnu. But still, how Dhruva took the shelter of the spiritual master, and we can't even count and reach to Vishnu in our hands, infinite things. But how much the spiritual master actually comes in the life of a person to help the person go back to Krishna, go closer to Krishna. If this person has this Shraddha, for the words of the spiritual master, he is sure to going to back to Godhead. He is sure candidate. No one can stop the personality, this person who is having strong faith in the words of the spiritual master. Now we will see how Dhruva Maharaj is going to make strong steps to follow what Narad Muni said. And today's class will be focusing on what Narad Muni said to Dhruva Maharaj. You see, when the spiritual master first tests the disciple in order to understand what is the level of this person so that he can direct accordingly. So we will see today's verse what Narad Muni says. Okay. So this is 4th canto, 8th chapter. This is 26th verse. This is the thought of Narad Muni. This is what Narad Muni is thinking. Okay. This is Narad Muni, when he reaches to Dhruva Maharaj, he is thinking within his mind. He is not speaking yet to Dhruva Maharaj. Last class we took this verse where Narad Muni had arrived and Maitreya was telling, Naradas tadupakarnya, if you remember. And Narada, when he heard, and then he is thinking within his head something. So we have to also understand what is the thought process of the spiritual master. Then we can take his shelter very nicely. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Aho Tejaha Kshatriyanam.
Aho Teja Kshatriyanam.
Manabhangam Amritsatam.
Manabhangam Amritsatam.
Balopyayang Hridadhatte.
Balopayam Vidadatte.
Yat Samatura Sadvachaha.
Samatu Asat Vachaha.
Aho Teja Kshatriyanam.
Teja Kshatriyanam.
Manabhangam Amrishyatam.
Manabhangam Amrishyatam.
Balopyayang Hridadhatte.
Balopyam Ritadhatte.
Yat Samatura Sadvachaha.
Yat Samatur Asatvachaha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. How wonderful are the powerful Kshatriyas. They can't even tolerate even a slight infringement upon their prestige. Just imagine, this boy is a small child, yet harsh words from his stepmother proved unbearable to him. Purport. The qualifications of the Kshatriyas are described in Bhagavad Gita. Two important qualifications are to have a sense of prestige and not to flee from the battle. It appears that the Kshatriya blood within the body of Dhruva Maharaj was naturally very active. If the Brahminical, Kshatriya or Vaishya culture is maintained in a family, naturally the sons and grandsons inherit the spirit of particular class. Therefore, according to Vedic system, the samskara or the reformatory system is maintained very rigidly. If one fails to observe the reformatory measures current in the family, one is immediately degraded to lower standard of life. Okay, so Aho, Allah, wow, wonderful. Like that Narad Muni is telling. Teja Kshatriya now. What is this Teja of this boy as a Kshatriya? Manabhanga Amritshayam. He is not able to tolerate Manabhanga. His prestige or esteem is being broken. And he is just a small kid. Balopi ayam hrida datte. Generally, kids don't keep anything at heart. You'll see the kids will become upset, and after some time they'll be normal only. They'll be crying like loudly, ah! And after some time, immediately they'll be smiling. You give a chocolate to them, they'll forget why they are crying. Correct? Balopi ayam hrida datte. This is a kid only. But though he is a kid, but how he has kept in his heart so strongly something. Generally kids, they do not keep something strongly in their heart. So this is the first thing that Narad Muni detected in Dhruva Maharaj. That Narad Muni detected the Tejaha. So one can see this as a disqualification. Just see, small boy, he has got so much of prestige. When he will become big, what he will do? Like that one can think, na? Generally we think like this. He's a small boy, he is speaking all these things, doing all these things. When he will grow up, my goodness, he will become like Alexander the Great, I think. Narad Muni didn't think like this. Narad Muni saw the bad quality, that apparent bad quality, material quality that Dhruva Maharaj is having, like a Kshatriya, much earlier to what he is supposed to be. The Kshatriya should behave like a Kshatriya maybe at 16 or 12, but Dhruva was behaving like a Kshatriya at the age of 5 and he had no symptoms of being a child. And to the extent that he could not even tolerate the harsh words of his own mother. So one can see this as a bad qualification, but we had discussed how a sadhu sees even the material bad qualifications of a person, but tries to engage them in spiritual way. So this is what the spiritual master does. He saw Dhruva, he saw Dhruva's contamination, he saw Dhruva's intention to get prestige more and more. And he saw Dhruva's competitive behavior. But he engaged Dhruva's thing into service of spiritual master, into service of Krishna. That is the role of spiritual master. To give an example, one time Srila Prabhupada was in Calcutta, and Srila Prabhupada was going around in the Calcutta in a car, and Bhavanand Prabhu and all, I think Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Bhavanand Prabhu were there in the car. And Srila Prabhupada was showing everything and in Calcutta, and everything in Calcutta was about Britishers, right? Prabhupada showed that the Victoria Memorial, and then he said that how the there is this Britishers had made this, and then there was some other building the British had made, some other building British, and Prabhupada was telling how the Britishers were on the top of the world, and they made India their base, and how Britishers, they started telling that the sun never sets in the British Empire, because they made colonies all around the world. So somewhere there is sunrise, because if you make colonies all around the world, so there will be sunrise. So they said that the sun never sets for the British Empire. And Srila Prabhupada was telling that was the pride of the Britishers, but unfortunately, because of the material world, now America is in the top and the Britishers have gone away. And you Americans, Prabhupada said, you have come to the top. But what great about the Americans? If you are really on the top of the world, then build a magnificent temple in Mayapur for the pleasure of Lord Chaitanya. And if you do that, if you build a magnificent temple, because anyway you are the Americans, then Bhakti Vinod Thakur will personally come and take you to the spiritual world. So Srila Prabhupada used he knew that how Americans are competitive now. They are very, very passionate, want to do something and achieve something in life. Srila Prabhupada used this American prestige, American fever, that you are born from America, then do something great. Because you want to do something great, you do something great for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if you do something great in Mayapur, build a magnificent temple, then Bhakti Vinod Thakur will take you back to Godhead. And when he will come to India, Prabhupada will say, you Indians, you are born in spiritual culture, you should distribute the spiritual culture all over the world. What is the use if you don't distribute? Bharat bhumite hoilo manusya janmajar nija janma sarthaka kari karo paropakar. So the spiritual master uses the material things that a disciple has and tries to redirect it in Krishna consciousness. So we have lot of material skills, and we may have some competitiveness, we may have some passion in life to do something, to achieve something, but one may see this as a disqualification, but one can see this as a qualification to endeavor very strongly towards Krishna. So Narad Muni saw Dhruva's disqualification or contamination as a great qualification to go back to Godhead, because he was determined, right? So he was very, very determined. The Kshatriyas are very determined. It is said sometimes the Kshatriyas are so much determined to fight and maintain their prestige that if their head is cut, they will put the head in one hand and still continue fighting. I don't know how long they will continue fighting, but they will still continue fighting. That is Kshatriya. I don't think nowadays such Kshatriyas are visible, but that is Kshatriya blood. So Narad Muni saw that Kshatriya nature in Dhruva Maharaj, which is apparently completely material. What a Kshatriya has to do in spirituality or doing bhakti? Krishna doesn't need a Kshatriya. One doesn't have to be a Kshatriya to do Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you know. So, but Narad Muni saw the Kshatriya nature, which is apparently a disqualification, because for doing devotional service, a Brahminical nature is required. Hai ki nahi? Like there is one devotee, he would dress Narsingadev with all different weapons. With he has his Narsingadev deities, and he will sign the knife. He will sign different weapons and decorate Narsingadev with weapons. And his Adhisthata Dev is Narsingadev, because he loves to be a Kshatriya, and he finds that pleasure with Narsingadev, ki how nicely he is fighting. So a person may have a Kshatriya nature, but that can also be dovetailed into Krishna consciousness. So Narad Muni, though devotional service requires more of a Brahminical nature, cooking for the Lord, the Kshatriyas cannot cook, or you say decorating. This is Brahminical attitude, decorating, singing, or what to say, dancing in front of the Lord. Kshatriyas would see other people dance. They would not dance. So these are all mostly Brahminical attitudes, though Dhruva Maharaj had a strong Kshatriya mentality. But Narad Muni is going to redirect it in Krishna consciousness. So this is one thing Narad Muni saw. Now Narad Muni is going to give tests to Dhruva. We will see what all tests we need to qualify to become like Dhruva. Okay, this is what today's section is. So we will go ahead. So now Narada is going to speak. So this is the first step, first test. Hare Krishna. Anyone speaking? Yeah. Narada Vacha. Yes.
Narada Vacha.
Nadhunapyavamanam te.
Nadhunapyavamanam
Samanam vapi putraka. Lakshya mah kumarasya. Saktasya kridanadisu. Translation. The great sage Narada told Dhruva, "My dear boy, you are only a little boy whose attachment is to sports and other frivolities. Why you are so affected by the words insulting your honor?" Purport. Ordinarily, if a child is rebuked as a rascal or a fool, he smiles and doesn't take such insulting words very seriously. Similarly, if words of honor are offered, he doesn't appreciate them. But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, the Kshatriya spirit was so strong that he could not tolerate a slight insult from his stepmother, which injured his Kshatriya prestige. So the first thing Narad Muni is telling, that you are a child. And if you are a child, what is the insult and what is this man apaman? And just play. Why do you waste your time in thinking all these things? Go and play with your friends. So this is the first test that the spiritual master is going to for a child. You will see that a child generally is not interested for higher things. The parents, they keep on telling. How many of you see that the parents keep on telling that padhai karo, padhai karo, padhai karo, aage jaake kya hoga, what will happen in the ahead, what will, and the child will never be concerned about future. Always he will be interested in playing. So Narad Muni is telling, you are a child, you behave like a child, why you are thinking about all these things, go and it's time to play. So the first test that the spiritual master does for a disciple, or the first test we have to qualify, is the test of purpose. To understand that how whether we have a higher purpose in life or we are just simply interested for the immediate thing, just like a child. Why the child is not responsible for his studies and career? Because he sees the immediate child's play as the immediate source of success or pleasure. So similarly, when human beings become childish, they think about the immediate pleasure which is available in this life. They don't think about the future lives. So that is the first thing we as a disciple we need to understand, that the spiritual master is going to test us. Are we really interested for something future? Or we are just like an animal thinking, just like a goat is there, and one time Srila Prabhupada was giving a class and Srila Prabhupada was telling, oh, this Krishna consciousness is so nice, that by little practice of Krishna consciousness, little practice of bhakti, by little bit doing something, chanting Hare Krishna, one can be saved from animal life, one can be saved from becoming a dog. So one person raised hand. And he raised hand and said, Prabhupada, Swamiji, what is the problem of being a dog? And Srila Prabhupada said, no problem. All my blessings are with you. Please become a dog and enjoy. So if a person is having this consciousness that he is not able to understand the difference between a human being and a dog, and if he is being told that you can become a dog in next life, be very careful, then what we can do with that person? Tell me. So the first thing we need to have is some amount of foresight if you want to practice Krishna consciousness. Is this person is completely low-sighted, or at least he is having some foresight in life? He is having some purpose of life. So Narad Muni is telling Dhruva, get this immediate success. Play now. Now you are a kid. You should play now. But a devotee understands that human life is very, very rare. Human life has a purpose. So if the spiritual master sees that this person is living for a cause, so this is the first thing we have to qualify. We cannot be like having the foresight like an animal, that okay, just like a goat is given some grass, and then he sees his friend goat, he's being cut by the butcher, and the goat is peacefully taking some grass. And if you give this example, some people become very, yes, true. You have seen, we have given so many times, I have given this example to so many people. Very few people will get awakened. And sometimes we do some programs, one-time programs or initial Bhagavad Gita classes. And when you do initial Bhagavad Gita classes, these are the examples we give. And some people attend the Bhagavad Gita classes, Swamiji achhe bole, and then they again get back to their previous material life. Finished. Yes. I got some positive vibes from the Swamiji. Finished. They got some positive vibes. Swamiji gave some positive vibes to them. They received some positive vibes. Again with the positive vibes, they have gone back to their material life. That means that they could not understand the foresight, what Swamiji is giving them. They were so interested in the immediate things of this world that they think that Bhagavad Gita can also give some immediate relief. And once Bhagavad Gita gives some immediate relief, very nice, tata bye bye, good, Hare Krishna. So they get some positive vibes, they will leave. But some people really get awakened. This Swamiji is speaking something very serious matter. This Swamiji is telling that I'm going to die, and we are really not knowing to know that which life I am going to get. Imagine I get a life of a dog. My goodness, I am going to suffer. Get stones from different people. And imagine, even if I get a human life, again I have to work hard, again I have to study A, B, C, D, and again I have to go through the competition, again I have to earn money, again I have to run and like a rat race. My goodness, this Swamiji is speaking something very, very nice. So this is the test of whether a person has that philosophical bent, or he is just as a animal only, Dvipada Pasu. He is animal only inside, but externally is just a human being. So this is the first test we need to qualify. If we want to practice and get the mercy of spiritual master, we need to first understand there is something higher in life other than roti kapda makan. Otherwise, there is no need for a guru in life. If we are simply an animal, thinking roti, kapda, makan and parivar, bharan, poshan is everything, be all and end all in life, we don't require guru in life. And that's how we see so many people come to Bhagavad Gita classes, very few remain for Bhagavatam classes, because Bhagavatam is Amala Puranam. Bhagavatam gives about the higher direction in life. Even Bhagavad Gita also gives about higher direction in life. People come, attend some classes, but they don't become awakened. Bhagavad Gita is supposed to create an awakening in our life. My goodness, what I am doing? I am not practicing bhakti. I am not practicing spiritual life. I am going to get doomed. So we need to have a guru, or we need a guru only when we are having a higher purpose in life. Guru is not to satisfy our material purpose. And because of late, so many gurus are just trying to help people materially, people have lost the definition of having Guru in life. So, tasmat gurun prapadyata jigyasu shreya uttama. Tasmat, therefore, or only when, only then, Guru prapadyata, one should surrender to Guru. Jigyasu, when one is jigyasu, curious. Shreya uttama, for the highest purpose of life. Uttama means highest. Shreya means purpose. Shreya uttama, what is the highest purpose of life? So, if one wants to live like an animal, oh, my husband, my wife, my children are satisfied, I give them something and we are eating together, so nice family, like Indra. Indra fell down from the position of Indra and Indra became a hog. And Brahmaji was concerned, we have to rescue Indra. And Brahmaji came and started talking with Indra. You look, Indra, you are Indra. And the hog said, yes, I am Indra. So Brahma said, what happened to your kingdom? Now this is my kingdom. This is my kingdom. He sowed the gutter and he sowed, this is my kingdom, Baba. Now where are your prajas? He sowed all the piglets. All they were doing like this, and he is my praja. And where is your Rani? My pig Rani. So this is my gutter, this is my Rajya, this is my Rani, this is my praja. I am happy. What you are stealing? I am still Indra. Brahma is telling, what nonsense you are speaking, Indra? You are Indra, the king of the demigods. Now yes, the kids are my demigods. बच्चे तो देवता के रूप होते हैं, भगवान के रूप होते हैं. Yes, people say like this. बच्चे तो देवता होते हैं. They are my demigods and I am their king. And I am happy. And Brahma was thinking, how to convince this fellow that he is king of demigods and he is become a pig and he is not understanding. He is still considering himself a king only, Indra only. And then Brahma in front of Indra killed the pigs and delivered the pigs from their pig life, and the wife pig, the piglet's pig got some human life being killed by Brahma and then liberated by Brahma, and then Brahma caught Indra, and Indra was shouting, no, I want to live in my gutter, and then Brahma took and posted Indra again as demigod. So we see, if a disciple lacks the foresight for higher purpose of life, he is not awakened by the words of the spiritual master. No matter how much ever the spiritual master speaks, he is not awakened. Like we see sometimes some people are very awakened. Immediately as soon as you tell them about Bhagavad Gita, the higher purpose of life, chanting Hare Krishna, immediately they will start chanting Hare Krishna, they will start chanting 4 rounds, 8 rounds, come to 16 rounds, want to take initiation, want to go ahead in spiritual life. And some other person, dheri dhila dhala, theek hai Prabhuji, everything. Why the words of the same person may speak, correct? The same spiritual master may be there, but two types of disciples. One disciple immediately becomes very awakened. Yes. Swamiji, what you said is correct. Another disciple is still dhila dhala. Okay, theek hai. Why? Because he is not able to see, he is not able to have the foresight. He is not able to understand the purpose of life. The purpose of life is not to stay here. The purpose of life is not to enjoy in this world whatever we think as an enjoyment. So Narad Muni is first testing whether this Dhruva has some foresight in life. Or he is just like an animal thinking, oh, go and play. Narad Muni, our Acharya Narad Muni says, Arey, your father Uttanapad is my disciple only. Come, I will tell Uttanapad. बैठना है ना? You want to sit on the lap of your father, na? I will instruct Uttanapad. He will make you sit and he will not make Uttama sit. Come. And Dhruva says, I am not interested in going and meeting that father. I don't want to sit on his lap. I don't want to get the lap of my father because you are instructing him. I don't want that. So Dhruva immediately rejected what Narad Muni is telling, that go and play. I will tell Uttanapad to make you sit. Just like a kid. Kid is telling banduk, 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 banduk. The father is not giving banduk. Sometimes the Dadaji comes, grandfather comes. Arey, he's my son only. The father will say what? Arey, my son is not giving, but I am grandfather. I will give you banduk. That is why kids are very attached to grandfather. Why they are very attached to grandfather? The kids understand that this person is the bap of my bap also. Even if my father rejects something, this will overpower. That's why the kids will be very attached to the swamis and sannyasis. Why? They know that our mother, father, they are bowing down to this Prabhuji. And whatever I tell to this Prabhuji, he will tell to my Babuji and Mataji and get things done. So that's why the kids also become very attached to the brahmacharis, because they see that the parents are offering dandavat to this brahmachari or sannyasi. So they also become very attached. He is the missing link to control my father and mother. So the kids. So in this way, Narad Muni started telling to Dhruva, but Dhruva completely rejected. He said, no, I don't want something immediate. I have a foresight. I want to meet my eternal father. I don't want that father now. That father is simply attached to this woman. I don't want that father. I want to meet my real father. If you have something, you tell me higher. Then Narad Muni says, oh, this person has some purpose in life. But Narad Muni does the next test that we will see here. I don't know how long we can go. Okay. Vikalpe vidyamanepi nahi asantosa hetava pumsho moham rite bhinna yalloke nija karma bhi. Okay, we will take 28 and 29 together. My dear Dhruva, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, you still have no cause for dissatisfaction. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of the illusory energy. Every living entity is controlled by his previous actions, and therefore there are different varieties of life for enjoying or suffering. Okay. So, next, 29. Paritushye tatastata tavan matrena purushaha daivopashaditam yavad viksheshwaragatim buddha. The process of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept that process and be satisfied with whatever comes, favorable or unfavorable, by his supreme will. So sometimes a person may have foresight, but his foresight will also be not a permanent foresight. His foresight will be also a temporary foresight. Like sometimes a person may have some purpose in life, not just some immediate thing. I will take some rasgulla, I will play something, I'll go to movie or something. He might have some purpose. But the second test is his purpose something for permanent, or is his purpose is temporary? So the second test is permanence. I'll give you an example. So there are three kinds of people who have some higher foresight in life, higher purpose in life. So Narad Muni is telling here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that Narad Muni is telling, okay Dhruva, you are a kid. If you are a kid, go and play. You don't have a foresight or purpose in life, go and play. Dhruva will say, no, I am not a kid. I don't care about that father. Tell me something else. I am not a kid. What do you think? I am a kid. मैं बच्चा हूँ क्या? This is Dhruva says like this. And then Narad Muni says, Vikalpe vidyamanepi. Vikalpa means alternative. Okay. Otherwise, you are a otherwise fellow. You are not a kid now. You are grown up. So you have some foresight. So second test Narad Muni says, gives is that he has a foresight which is permanent, or he has a foresight of the three ordinary classes of people. There are three types of people mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. The first one is a karmi or a karma yogi. The second one is a jnani, and the third one is a sakama bhakta. All these three people have some foresight. They have something which have a higher purpose in life, but they do not have a permanent foresight in life. So Narad Muni is giving step by step about the three categories of people and telling to Dhruva, you fit in any of the category if you are grown up. You fit in a jnani, you fit in a karmi yogi, or you fit in a sakama bhakta. You fit in one of the category and be satisfied in life. So how a jnani is satisfied? So first Narad Muni is telling about a jnani, you see. So when one grows up, he takes some philosophy. Like a child doesn't have a philosophy. Child's philosophy means खाना मिल गया, खिलौना मिल गया, आनंद मिल गया. Correct? This is philosophy of the child, right? Yesterday we had a kids program, and then we had a kids program, and immediately kids program ended, and we were chanting Hare Krishna. One round I think became too much for the kids yesterday, and in between the round only, Prabhuji, और कब तक खत्म होगा that Hare Krishna? They were and I said that we will give you pakoda, and it was raining, so that was a lucrative offer, pakoda, and they were chanting. One or two fellows were telling, they were looking at me with so much of concern कि प्रभु जी और कब खत्म होगा, ये माला कब खत्म क्यों नहीं हो रहा है. And as soon as mala khatam, then they started flooding around this Mataji Nitya Rupini Mataji. Why? They wanted some chocolate or something. So they were fighting about मेरे को jelly मिल गया, मेरे को chocolate मिल गया. That's finished. You know what they understood about Purushottam Mass or whatever drama they did. We really don't know what they understood about Hare Krishna. Their goal is over. They got some chocolate and some pakoda. So this is a child. So Dhruva is telling, no, I am not a child. Said, okay, you are not a child. If you are a grown up, then you have some philosophy. A grown up person has some philosophy in life. So there are three types of philosophy. One is the philosophy of a jnani. And first he is telling, if you are a jnani, we'll see again the text. Vikalpe vidya manepi. You are saying that vidya mane, you are having some vidya, api. If you are telling that you are having some knowledge, intelligence, and you are not a child, nahi asantosa hai tava. What is the reason for asantos, dissatisfaction? Pumso moharite. Everything is a product of illusion. Happiness is illusion. Misery is also illusion. Like this, the jnani thinks. The person who is having philosophical jnana, he thinks what? Everything is an illusion. What is the point in happiness? What is the point in dissatisfaction and satisfaction? Like I'll give an example. Recently I was giving an example. This example. So imagine, give some example. Imagine someone, Kushal Bihari Prabhu, wanting to go for Vrindavan Yatra, and he has booked the ticket and train ticket. So Kushal Bihari Prabhu has booked the train ticket, and it is Durga Puja time, and Sukriti Mataji has been telling ki book the cab, we are getting late. And Kushal Bihari Prabhu is doing some official work because he has taken a holiday, and he's not booking the cab, and at last moment he booked the cab for going to Howrah. And finally near Eden Garden. It is World Cup match during because during that time there is World Cup, and in Eden Garden there is the World Cup going on, India-Pakistan match, and they got stuck there. And then Mataji is being telling, shouting, yelling, I was telling you we have booked first class train ticket and it's gone. How we'll go to Yatra? Everything is gone. We got stuck. We should have, the message was given in WhatsApp that there is a match, and I have been telling book, you are late, we are late. And then Prabhuji, what he will tell? No. And Prabhuji is shouting at the driver, Mataji is shouting at Prabhuji, and all these things are happening and everything. And the train was supposed to start at 5:45, and they reach at 5:45 the station. And then they are very disappointed. They reach 5:45, they are feeling array. And then they see that the train is still there. Some people are telling train is still there. The coolies are telling, and their coolies are also started demanding money. हम पहुंचा देंगे आपको, आप 500 रुपए दे दीजिए, ट्रेन अभी भी रुका हुआ है. And then they somehow gave 500 rupees and coolies, and they're running. They reached at about 5:55, and the train was still there. And somehow they got into the train, and they got seat and everything. By the time they sat, it was 6:10, and the train was still there in the station. And then Kushal Bihari Prabhu and Sukriti Mataji, everyone is really, so nice. I'm feeling so happy that the train is still there. And then the other passenger there, they are shouting at Indian Railways, telling, just see how nonsense these Indian Railways have become. Vande Bharat Express, they are telling fast. They could not start from the station only in time. What they will reach on the other time fast. Just see what this government is doing, what Indian Railways are doing. So nonsense. Now the situation is same. The train is late 25 minutes. But for Kushal Vihari Prabhu and family, that same train late brings happiness. For the family who came half an hour before and sat in the train, it brings misery. So like this, the Jnani thinks, what is the happiness and misery of this world? It is just a bhram. It is just an illusion. You are able to understand how the happiness and misery of this world is simply an illusion. The situation can be same. The same situation can bring different people, different emotions based on how illusioned he is. So it is just an illusion, right? So the same situation can create happiness, same situation can create, this is all some mental things. There is no happiness in this world. Like this the Jnani thinks. So you think like this, there is no happiness in this world, it is all illusion. Same situation you can take, you are taking so much misery, my father bitha nahi, my father bitha nahi. Same situation you can take as a happiness. Okay, theek hai, who cares that father is so attached to the kingdom, father is so attached. What's so great about sitting on the lap of this father? So become like a Jnani, philosophical. Then be happy in life. Asantosh, why you are dissatisfied? So this is first thing. Second thing is telling Narad Muni, Nija karma bhi, a karma yogi. What a karma yogi thinks? I have done some karmas and my karma is only coming back to me. You, this father who is acting as your father, maybe he is your business partner in previous life. You had cheated him. You had cheated your business partner, and your same business partner whom you cheated in previous life comes as your father. And now he is cheating you, and you are shouting, why is cheating, why my father is cheating me, why my father is not giving me love. Arey, this is your karma only coming back to you. So as a karma yogi, if you are grown up as a karma yogi, as a philosophy of karma yogi, be satisfied, your karma is coming back. Now if you are grown up and thinking yourself as devotee, then understand everything is done by Krishna. If you ask Krishna, he will give you. Bas be happy. So both the Jnani, the Karma Yogi or a Sakama Bhakta, all three people, they have some foresight in life, but their foresight is still very material and temporary. So if we want to get Krishna, we need to perform pure devotional service. We cannot say that I can perform devotional service like a demigod, like Indra, like Chandra. Okay, I need something of this world, I need some material things also, and I can still get the mercy of Krishna. It is not possible. So this is the second test that Narad Muni is telling, is this person ready for pure devotional service? Because there are Sakama Bhaktas, there are Karma Yogis, there are Jnanis, all these people have some foresight in life, they have some purpose in life, but still their purpose is material. Is Dhruva ready for pure devotional service? Is he ready for a permanent solution for his problem? Because as a Sakama Bhakta, Dhruva Maharaj can get another kingdom and everything. Again, he may get another father in some other life. Is he ready to solve his problem permanently? So this is the second thing that Narad Muni is testing. There are two more things which we will discuss elaborately in next class. So today we discussed about the purpose, how Narad Muni tests whether Dhruva has some purpose in life, or he is just for some immediate happiness, immediate needs. And the second thing is about permanence, whether that purpose is for permanent solution or that purpose is material. So these are the two things we discussed. Any questions? We can end here because already 7:40. Next week we will complete this section of Dhruva, Narad Muni's discussions with Dhruva, and then Dhruva will speak. So next week we'll complete the other two purposes, other two things. Yeah, that will take me a little more time. The other two things is a little more elaborate. Yeah. Santanu Prabhu, Kushal Bihari Prabhu, Udit Prabhu, Sweta Mataji. This is the line. Yes.
I can ask?
Yes. You are already started asking.
No, you were telling that there are two types of people. That one is they become serious for spiritual life. They be at the same class. Some of them become serious and some are not becoming serious. Although the instruction being given in the class is same. Like they come and they are telling about positive vibes and they go away. So one thing is like why like there is this difference is there. Because first time somebody has come in contact with devotee or devotional service, but what makes it that somebody is serious, somebody is not serious. But in the sense of I'm telling as a preacher what we should do to make the maximum impact, because you are understanding. Like I personally, my case, I was not like very planned or I was very serious, but somehow it stuck to me. Some things were spoken which I got stuck to me, or then I thought, yeah, it is important, and I gave it a try. Some people are like already coming as a seeker, like many spiritual masters in ISKCON, they had come to ISKCON as a seeker of truth only. Like I came, I gave it a try. There's something stuck. Some people don't give a try only. Some people, so as a preacher, how to see those people and give a maximum impact when people come.
Yeah, there was. So one thing we have to understand that as a preacher we cannot really do much, because ultimately the living entity's endeavor, living entity's seriousness is there. But sometimes some preachers and all, the spiritual master is so much of respected. And sometimes we see that Srila Prabhupada is so much of respected. Srila Prabhupada is given a very high dais, and Srila Prabhupada is telling that do my Guru Puja and all those things, do my Vyas Puja, and so many people are coming and attending, big garlands are being given. And sometimes we may think, why Srila Prabhupada is accepting so much of grandeur, puja and all those things. So this is one thing that the preacher sometimes does. Though he is very humble, he doesn't want self-respect and all, he accepts the respect from the public to gain some influence over the people, so that the person is serious for his words. That's the only thing we can do. Otherwise, there is no other way. Even after seeing this, Srila Prabhupada has said the same statement to this is your one life. Give this one life to Krishna. He has said this statement to so many people, but it was only Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj who took it very seriously. Correct? But when people saw Srila Prabhupada, so much of respect to him, so much of people following him, and Srila Prabhupada accepted that, going in Rolls Royce. So, oh, he's a very important person. And when you understand who is a very important person, he will really think, oh, what this important person said. So he will note down. So this is one thing the preacher does on a very material level, very, very crude level. The second thing, obviously, the preacher has to be more prayerful. He should understand that the Paramatma is in the heart of the living entity, and if I pray to Paramatma for inspiring him, the Paramatma will inspire him. So this is second thing that the preacher can do. Definitely pray that I may give the same message, but you are inside his heart, you open up his ears, because if you keep his ears closed, what you will hear? So the preacher can pray to Paramatma that please help this person to come out of the material tabernacle or material entanglement. So this is second thing that the preacher can do. These are the two things. Beyond that, what the preacher can do? So one thing is definitely to get some influence. To get some influence, the preacher behaves in a way, or he accepts certain amount of respect. And that is why when a spiritual master comes, and we see there are so many spiritual masters come, some GVCs come, we give a lot of respect to them. Definitely, we have to give respect to the spiritual master like Krishna, but sometimes the spiritual master, we may have a question that why he accepts so much of respect. So he accepts so much of respect so that it helps him in service to Krishna. How it helps him in service to Krishna? If people see him as a respectable person, so many people are following, new people will also try to follow. They may not know anything about the person, they may not know anything about Krishna. Most of 90% of the people are crowd. Wherever the crowd is, they will go. Correct? That's how the tendency of the people are. So the spiritual master accepts sometimes all these things to have an influence on the public. But even if one does, so many 30,000 people came for attending Srila Prabhupada's Cross Maidan program. Right now we do not have 30,000 disciples in India. Or we may have, but how many people really, they heard from Srila Prabhupada only, na? They saw Srila Prabhupada being worshipped like God. Like God. Srila Prabhupada disciples really worshipped Srila Prabhupada. Definitely Srila Prabhupada also deserved that respect, but they worshipped like God. People saw him being respected like God, but many people became envious, or many people, theek hai, he is also some another yogi has come. Theek hai. They heard, very nice. They again got back to his material life, to their material life. So this is one thing the preacher can do. Second thing, he can be more connected with Krishna, pray to Krishna, help this living entity. Beyond that, what the preacher can do, what the guru can do, he can only inspire the person. It is the person who has to become serious. Otherwise, there is no other way. Somehow, if one develops somehow or other some respect for the spiritual master, out of respect and feelings for the spiritual master, sometimes one may practice bhakti, but slowly he will advance. So at least for that reason also someone practices, that is better. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hari Bol. Yes, Kushal Bihari Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for wonderful class. My question is in similar lines with Shantanu Prabhu's question. When we came to Krishna consciousness, we didn't have any purpose. But we were given purpose by our preachers. And then we understood, yes, this is the purpose. This should be the purpose of our life. So, how is it possible, as you were telling, that this spiritual master tests the purpose? So, in ISKCON's case, we see many people, like Shantanu also told, we were not interested, we were not knowing, okay, just we gave it a try, and then it got clicked, okay, yes, this should be the purpose, there is some higher purpose to this life. So, how does this lesson fits that is spiritual master test?
Yeah. So this lesson fits in this way. That's why in ISKCON we don't give initiation right away. We saw in this that Dhruva Maharaj is immediately initiated by Narad Muni. Previously, people of Satyuga like Dhruva Maharaj, they could understand many things. They were born in Satyuga, but because we are born in Kali Yuga, at least before initiation, we should set the purpose right. We should understand the purpose of life is something spiritual. Now you are talking about we coming to bhakti, but here Dhruva is standing just at the door of getting initiated by Narad Muni. So at least before taking initiation in ISKCON, we should follow and qualify the test what Dhruva Maharaj qualified right now. We may have contamination. Dhruva has contamination, but he qualifies the test. So, okay, while coming to bhakti, we may not have qualified the test what Dhruva qualified, but Dhruva is going to get initiated by Narad Muni in the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And we are also getting initiated in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but at least before initiation or before going for initiation or before the recommending someone for initiation, one should try to, the spiritual master should test that is whether the disciple has all these things or not. And the disciple also should ask the question, why I am taking initiation? So am I having the right purpose in life? So that is why we give a gap of 3 years, 4 years or 5 years or 6 years or whatever for taking initiation, for taking Kanthimala, because these things are not cheap. Dhruva Maharaj would never be taking non-veg. I think in Uttanapad's palace, he would be taking Vishnu Prasad. So there is no question of telling him about 4 regulative principles. There is no question of training him about without onion, garlic. They were taking Vishnu Prasad from childhood only. Uttanapad himself would be taking. And their home was always Vishnu-maya, Krishna-maya. So they are not ordinary people. So that is why they are not taking much time. Things are very fast. But for us, because we have got into so much of nonsense, we have done so many things in our childhood, we have, so that is why we may take more time. But at least at the verge of taking initiation at that time, it is the duty of the spiritual master to test whether the disciple is having the real purpose in life. And it is also the disciple to reflect. I am going to take initiation, but do I have the purpose in life? And that's how we see in ISKCON, sometimes people take initiation just because he is taking initiation, he is taking initiation, he is taking initiation. Later on, they are not able to maintain the vows of initiation. So, Dhruva is at the verge of taking initiation, and that's how we, in ISKCON also, we follow this standard of not giving initiation immediately to a person until unless the person is tasted for a period of time. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, then in Dhruva Maharaj's case, his purpose was, what was his purpose which Narad Muni tested? He was also having the great material desire.
We may have material desire, but are we ready to hear the spiritual master, and are we ready for an honest path? We will see that Dhruva Maharaj ahead is going to speak, that are we ready for some higher things in life which is permanent. We may have some contaminations in the heart, that is fine, contaminations are fine in life, but are we ready to purify those contaminations? Clearly Dhruva Maharaj is going to tell to Narad Muni that my heart is contaminated, tell me an honest path which is going to help me. So Dhruva Maharaj is not trying to fake to Narad Muni that he is not contaminated. This is the purpose. He is very honest. He knows that he needs to be purified. So the purpose of Dhruva Maharaj is not contaminated. The heart is contaminated. He wants to get a kingdom higher than this, but he doesn't want to get that kingdom through wrong means. Right? So getting something material is no problem until unless we try to take the wrong path. So definitely Dhruva Maharaj's purpose or Shreya is having the material contaminations, but still Dhruva Maharaj qualified because he wanted something, a permanent solution. He told Narad Muni that I want some permanent, honest solution which you have to give me. Does that answer your question? So what Narad Muni is trying to test in Dhruva is trying to see whether he is ready for something higher.
Yes.
He may need something, some purification. Like for example, when I'll give another example so that you can understand. When Narsingh Dev's Murti was supposed to be made, Mayapur ISKCON, they ordered from a South Indian Sthapati, from a sculpture in South India. So after being ordered, after 6 months, the manager of Mayapur calls the Sthapati, said, Narsingh Dev is made? And the Sthapati said, what Narsingh Dev is made? I have not found out the stone only. Said, huh? I thought we have already decided we will do the installation here. Said, what installation? And stone has not come. And this person became very, very upset. He went to South India and he said, Kire, I am not going to make a doll, or I am not going to make some Hathi or Singh. I am going to make Narsingh. It cannot be made in ordinary stone. That stone has to be alive. And then he showed how the stone is alive. He showed from the Puranas, Sthapati Shastra, what is stone alive and all. So to make the Narsingh Dev is not made, but the actual patthar has to be also be there, na? So though the patthar is not Narsingh Dev, it has to be carved, but the spiritual master has to find the right patthar also, na? So similarly, for us to become pure devotee, though we may not be pure devotee, we may have material qualification, but we need to be right patthar, right attitude we should have. So that's what Narad Muni is testing. You are able to understand? So the Sthapati, just like the Sthapati is testing the stone, so Narad Muni is testing the Dhruva's attitude. Is he ready for something higher? Otherwise, Dhruva, Pururava also met Vishnu, Dhruva also met Vishnu. This is what we are going to discuss at the end of this section of Dhruva Maharaj. It's not that Dhruva only met Vishnu. Demigods met Vishnu, Pururava met Vishnu, Maharaj Nabhi met Vishnu, so many people, Daksha met Vishnu, but all of them didn't become pure devotees, but Dhruva became pure devotee. So it's not that Dhruva got qualified to meet Vishnu, that's why he became pure devotee. It is the blessings of Narad Muni, first thing. And second thing, Dhruva's attitude. Dhruva definitely had an attitude of having something higher. As soon as Dhruva saw Lord Vishnu, he immediately prayed, Ki Are, I am looking for broken pieces of glass. Your darshan itself is most satisfying. I don't need anything now. The demigods, when they saw the Vishnu, they didn't say like this. So this is what. So Narad Muni is trying to test the stone where he is going to carve the pure devotee Dhruva. You are able to understand now? Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Udit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhu, we see in life of Srila Prabhupada that he wanted to, create brahmanas in this society, right? And and then we talked about Kshatriya also. So I understand that in this age everybody is Shudra. But how does by creating only brahmanas the entire society will function properly?
Srila Prabhupada didn't only say that he had to create Brahmana. Srila Prabhupada said that 50% of his job is done. One time in the last days of Srila Prabhupada's life, Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj got a lot of his association. And Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj says that one time Srila Prabhupada called him in dead of the night and said, 50% of my job is done. Bhakti Charu Maharaj said to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you have done so nice, you have established the Hare Krishna movement all over the world, so many people are chanting, everything is done. Prabhupada said, no, only 50% have done. I have only created a platform to create some brahmanas and preachers, but real thing that will be achieved is by achieving the Daiva Varnashram system, where people are engaged according to their propensities very nicely, and they are rendering service to Krishna based on their propensities. So Srila Prabhupada, though he knew that other classes are important, Kshatriyas are important, Vaishyas are important, Sudras are important, all working for the pleasure of Krishna based on their individual propensities, but he understood first the Brahmanas have to be created, first the head has to be created. As Srila Prabhupada created one Brahmana, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So he has created so many people, and so many people are engaged in different ways. Now all are Vaishnavas only in Mayapur. If you come and see, so many people who come and serve in Gada kitchen and other kitchens, they're just servants like. Now they are also Vaishnavas, they are initiated, maybe second initiated, but they just serve, right? And then then there are so many devotees who do business in Mayapur, and a lot of kapda ka dukan, this dukan, that dukan, and they are Vaishyas only. And they do very nice business. But they do it, and they do business, they give part of their income to the TOVP temple or Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. So they do business. And some people are in security, some people are in administration. They are also devotees of Krishna only. They are also devotees initiated in Srila Prabhupada's movement. So they do that. And some people are preachers. Some people are teachers. They are like Brahmanas. So though Srila Prabhupada initially created some Brahmanas, but under them there are so many people, our society has increased, and we can see all these form of Daivya Varnashram system very much active in our society. We see in our society those who are initiated devotees, they are serving in kitchen, they are serving in different departments. They are like, they are Vaishnavas only, but they are engaged on a material level like a worker. They are not worker, they are not Sudra. They are Param Vaishnavas, they are beyond the Varnashram. But Daivi Varnashrama means one is a Vaishnava, and according to what he is comfortable at, he is being engaged. Like my cook. Actually, I am so grateful to him because he is able to do the service. That's why I am able to give classes peacefully. But what service he is doing? He is cooking. He is cleaning my dhoti kurta, he is arranging my bed, and as soon as I come back tired, everything is ready, I just have to lie down. Now apparently this is work of a Sudra, but is he initiated? Devotee. And because he is helping me, I am able to do the service of a Brahmana. So this is Daivi Varnashram system where all are Vaishnavas and helping each other to serve Krishna. If this person goes away, I will not be able to give classes. So I do not consider him as Sudra. But on an external form, the work he is doing is like a Sudra. But I have respect for him more than his Brahmana also, because he is a Param Vaishnav. He is serving Krishna. He is chanting the holy names of the Lord. So in this way, though Srila Prabhupada in the beginning of the movement created certain Brahmanas, but under their inspiration, under the inspiration of GVCs, we have created a wonderful Daivi Varnashram system which is going to evolve more and more. It is in a very primitive stage, but as our society becomes more and more older, we are just now 50 years old, as we are going to get more older, 100 years, 200 years, this Daivi Varnashram system is going to become very, very, very prominent and strong, where all will be initiated Vaishnavas, but they would be doing best on their propensities and capacity, their work. So Srila Prabhupada, initially he created the head, because the head only can engage properly. But it is not that only head has to be created. The legs have to be created, the hands have to be created, the stomach has to be created. All these parts have to be created. The Vaishyas are the stomach of Virat Rupa. The Sudras are the legs. The Kshatriyas are the Bahu or the arms. So they are also created. And we see it very much active in our society in a very primitive level, and as we go more ahead, it will become more prominent. But it is always the case. It's a spiritual system. Chaturvanyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasa. It can never go away from the society. If the Brahmana is active, that means there is some Sudra who is active. Then the Brahmana is active. Because the Brahmana has to worry so much about his intelligence, giving intelligence to others, that he needs someone else to worry about his body. So that is why success in a society is a team affair. Now this modern caste system by India is a horrible thing. It is not actually Daivi Varnashram system. Daivi Varnashram system, Brahmana is to not hate the Sudras. The Brahmana should understood that ये शूद्र है करके मैं अपना काम कर पा रहा हूँ. It's not that Sudra like that. It's not like that. So in Daivi Varnashram system, everyone is equal as Vaishnava. There is no, on a spiritual level, everyone is equal. Everyone is initiated, Vaishnavas chanting Hare Krishna, following the four regulative principle. But on a material level, people are engaged in different activities so as to serve Krishna. Now this person, my cook, he cannot give classes. He cannot read Srimad Bhagavatam and explain to others where people are able to understand and apply. This we cannot do. But because he is serving me, I am able to serve all of you. So this is the Daivi Varnashram system. Okay.
So this system can be extended into the modern society as well. Because right now we are in the purview of schools, we see that. But this can be, like devotees are going and serving in corporates and other companies. So can this be implemented there slowly, or what was the vision of?
Yeah, so it can be implemented only when they accept spiritual master and a higher purpose in life. See, corporate works based on finance and everything. So money is not the problem. People can work based on money and still the Daivi Varnashram system can be maintained. So money is not the thing. The problem is the corporates have no higher purpose in life. They are ready to dilute their principles for satisfying their immediate purpose. That is the problem. So once this attitude is taken out from the corporate, then business can also run, outside world also can run in the Daivi Varnashram system. Daivi Varnashram system, not necessarily everyone has to be a pure devotee. But at least everyone should be aspiring for pure devotional service. Then it will work. But they are into this world, they want to stay in this world, their goal is to somehow eat, drink and be merry. Oh, in that case, that Daivi Varnashram. That's what I am telling. Dhruva Maharaj is being tested by Narad Muni whether he fits in this corporate category, eat, drink, be merry life, or he has some higher things in life. Right? So that's what is being tested. Okay? Yes, Sweta Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat.
Dandavat.
Prabhuji, just thoda sa hai ki it's a long way to go having a pure devotional service. It's a very, very long way. We can aspire for it, but in my tiny puny experience, what I believe is, even if you desire, even if you try, you fail. With whatever reason, you may call a situation, you may call everything, but the internal purification really matters. If it is not pure enough, how would you serve properly to the spiritual master or to the Vaishnavas or to the family members? It is only internal purification matters, and it goes a very long way. Then how to aspire for pure devotional service?
Yeah, so we have tiny puny experience, but we do not have tiny puny ego. That's the problem. So experience is small, but ego is very big. Yeah.
So this is actually, ego is the formation, Prabhu. Beginning of the creation is began with the ego. How to get rid of that ego?
Yeah. So that is why the third thing that Narad Muni is going to test is the price. One may have ego, one may be contaminated, one may not be purified. The price is that no matter whatever happens this life, let me follow this person. I may fail again and again and again, but let me try to follow. Number of failures are not counted by Krishna. Krishna doesn't count how many times you failed in life, but Krishna counts whether you steadily went on in devotional service. So that's what Krishna says. Api chet suduracharo bhajante mam ananya bhak sadhu revasya mantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Samyak vyavasito. Within moments he will again come back. He will fail, but again moment he will come back. Then he should be considered as sadhu. So we may fail, but Krishna is not going to have a notebook. How many times? Oh, 2020 March you failed, 2021 March, July you failed. And Krishna is not noting down our failures. Krishna is noting down that whether we fail or pass, are we ready to follow the instructions of the spiritual master? Are we ready to follow the instructions of the scriptures? Are we ready to be in the association of devotees? So if Krishna sees this steadiness in us, that no matter whatever happens, we are steady, we are going on. Okay, theek hai, we may fail this, and ultimately devotees are our family members only. Theek hai, we may fail, but we are failing in front of family members only. Oh, theek hai, we are going ahead in our devotional service. So if we have this attitude, then Krishna will surely take us back to Godhead. Because for Krishna to purify us, it is just a बाएं हाथ की चुटकी. मेरा बजता नहीं है, but कृष्णा अच्छे से बजाते हैं. So it's like just twist of his finger. But Krishna is allowing all the contamination still be there in our hearts so that we remain humble. So that we immediately don't become proud and arrogant. Just see, I have become pure devotee. And just before death, Krishna will purify everything else. But till death, we have to continue following the spiritual master and in the path of devotional service. We should not go away from the path of devotional service. That's it. Before death, within moments, Krishna will just swipe away. See, the soul is never contaminated. The soul is like this pure, and these are all contaminated. So for Krishna can take out the soul completely and let the mind whatever and completely remain like that only and liberate the soul and take him, because the soul is actually not contaminated. Because we are seeing ourselves attached to this contaminated body and mind, that's why we are thinking that we are contaminated. We are not contaminated. We are not contaminated. We are seeing ourselves through the contaminations. And that's why we think, oh, I think I am contaminated. I am not contaminated. Right? Swe mahimni sthitasya, the soul is never contaminated. So Krishna sees not as mind. Krishna sees not as our body. Krishna doesn't see us as a woman or a man or a body or a kshatriya or a sudra. Krishna sees as a spirit soul, completely untouched by the material power. We are seeing ourselves as Brahmana, Kshatriya, woman, envious, proud, arrogant, all those. But Krishna doesn't see that. Krishna sees we are spirit soul. Oh, he has some material coverings which are which is entangling him, and within moments Krishna can clear off everything and liberate us. We just have to catch on to his lotus feet till the last breath of our life, catch on to the lotus feet of spiritual master, to the lotus feet of Krishna till last moment, not leave. And that's why Srila Prabhupada said, don't leave ISKCON. Somehow or other stay on, don't leave the Dasosmi family, don't leave the family of Vaishnavas, just stay on. And no matter whatever contaminations we have, if we just stay on, then within moments, before the last moment, Krishna will purify everything, whatever. Krishna will do whatever purification required and take us back to Godhead. So that's what we have to do, and we do not have to worry so much about our contaminations and all. We may fail, but again and again we can rise, and Krishna is not noting down the number of failures, right? We just have to continue on steadily. And even if there are some failures and all, that's fine. That's part of, this is how Krishna is going to keep us humble. And humility is very, very important to be there. So, okay.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Yes, Pavan Krishna Prabhu. Last question. Oh, Dev Mali Prabhu. Dandavad.
My one question is already answered. And another question is, this was in the last class, you were discussing about that one verse from Guru Puja, that Sudan below the Janme Janme Prabhu se. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि डिवोटीज को तो एक ही लाइफ में तो मतलब भगवान के पास नहीं चले जाते हैं, 2 जन्म 4 जन्म में भी 6 जन्म 8 जन्म भी लेना पड़ता है, तो उसके लिए मतलब कैसे, मतलब हमारे जो गुरु है, क्या गुरु भी सेम रहता है हमारा हर बार, जो हम जो मतलब चेंज कर, मतलब एक जन्म के बाद और एक जन्म में जब हम आ रहे हैं तो हमारा गुरु भी सेम रहते हैं क्या?
So why you want to stay back more? Why don't you want to complete this life only?
I want to do that, but I don't know my capacity.
Okay, so you don't know your capacity, but at least if we think only that this life we cannot go back, then we cannot go back. Imagine you think that this life only I'll go back, then at least we try. So what you want to do? You want to try go back this life or after 2-3 lives? Okay. So if the living entity doesn't go back in one life, then based on the attachment that the disciple had to his spiritual master, the spiritual master takes responsibility. So the responsibility is quite mutual. Sometimes the spiritual master is responsible, but the disciple also has to be responsible to the spiritual master. Like for example, there was one sannyasi, Sudama Maharaj. So Srila Prabhupada said to him that why don't you go and preach in Japan and all those places. And this person said, Ki Srila Prabhupada, I am very weak. If I go alone as a sannyasi there, and it's a very not good place, I may fall down. And Srila Prabhupada said, okay, even if you fall down, you go there and preach what I have taught and try to do something in Japan. And even if you fall down, I will come personally and take you back. So now this person goes and really falls down. He leaves all bhakti and everything and becomes contaminated. And then Srila Prabhupada, at the end of his life, he gets some cancer or something. At the end of his life, at the end, he sees Srila Prabhupada and says, oh Prabhupada, you came to take me. In the end, this is what he spoke, and he left the body. So based on our dedication to spiritual master will also take that step to take care of us. More we take spiritual master and more we are dedicated to the spiritual master will take the step of again coming back also in the next life in some other way or through some other means to take us back. But imagine we just took initiation, okay, because we have to take initiation and we have to go back to Krishna. Then the spiritual master hands us to someone else in the next life, and then through him we continue our spiritual journey. It's based on attachment. Forget about spirit. It's based on attachment of the disciple to the spiritual master. So based on that attachment and dedication, the spiritual master will also take that much of responsibility. If the disciple is very, very attached and dedicated, he is ready to give up and do anything and everything for the spiritual master, then the spiritual master will also behave like that. He will also be ready to do anything and everything. He might be in spiritual world, he will have to again come back to take the disciple. And that's what Srila Prabhupada used to tell, that don't let the spiritual master again come back to go. You also go with the spiritual master this life only. But spiritual master will not do that for everyone. If one is not dedicated, one is too much dedicated for one's material life, one doesn't have that dedication for serving the spiritual master. Why the spiritual master will do? He will go to spiritual world, he will hand over his disciple to someone else, and like that. But the spiritual master's role is very, very special. There is a story, real story of one disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this person, after Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur left this world, he was initiated. I think he was Brahman initiated also in Gaudiya Math. So once Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur left the world, this disciple, he also left Krishna consciousness. He started eating fish, he started breaking the 4 regulative principles, started eating non-veg, doing all the nonsense things, whatever he was doing before. Then when he died, Yamadutas got him. Now one may say that how a person initiated can be caught by Yamaduta. Bhagavad Gita is telling. So one may think that, oh, how come Bhagavad Gita says Swalpam? So these are all exceptional cases for teaching us certain lesson. So then this person is caught by Yamaduta and he goes to Yamaraj and all the Chitragupta and all, he's standing in line and everything, like, is then the Chitragupta reads and Yamaraj reads all nonsense he does, and Yamaraj and Chitragupta also says that he got initiated by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Yamaraj, when he hears that, he becomes very upset. Whom you caught? You are going to put me on a very dangerous position. And Yamaraj immediately he closes his eyes and he remembers Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur comes and he becomes extremely angry on his disciple. Just see what you have done. You have put me on such embarrassing situation in front of Yamaraj. And Yamaraj actually told Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, sorry, we caught your disciple. He is your property. You please tell us what to do. If you tell us, he is supposed to get all this Yama Jantrana. If you tell us, we will give him Yama Jantrana. But if you tell us that we leave him, we leave him. Whatever you tell, we will do. Sorry, I am very afraid. My people have caught him. So like this, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur became very upset. Said, "What nonsense! You have put me in such a situation that I have to be so embarrassed in front of Yamaraj. If I tell yes, go him Yama Jantrana. If I tell yes, it is difficult. If I tell no also, it is difficult. Correct? What situation you have put me?" And he became very, very upset. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, "You took initiation, you made this vow. What kind of gentleman you are? How can you give up this vow?" And then he gave all the instructions, everything. And he said, "Again, go back and take again re-initiation from my disciple, who is some Puri Maharaj, who used to stay in Jagannath Puri." So go to him, take again initiation, follow the principles, and at the end of life, I will come and take you back to Vrindavan Dham. So, and this person, though he got a near-death experience, again gets up as if in a dream, and he goes to Puri, meets this Puri Gaudiya Math Maharaj, who is disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and before he says to Maharaj, Maharaj says, "Yes, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had come in my dream also, told me to initiate you again, but condition is, again you will not break the 4 regulative principle and you will chant the Hare Krishna very seriously. Otherwise, again I will also be put in an embarrassing situation like him." He says yes, and then he follows the principles very nicely and goes back to Godhead. So in one of the Vyasa Puja ceremony of this disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, this story was told, that how the spiritual master, the disciple should not put the spiritual master in an embarrassing situation by breaking the 4 regulative principles. So this person, because he was dedicated to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was a very serious disciple. But when he left, he also left. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took this step. Otherwise, why he will take the step? So these lessons we can learn, that we have to be dedicated. If we are dedicated to the spiritual master will also take that step. Right? But we should all try to go back in this life only, and we should never break the principles, the vows we have made. Otherwise, we'll put the spiritual personalities in an embarrassing situation. Okay? So, the spiritual master's role is eternal, provided we want him to be eternal. If we want him to be in our life throughout our spiritual journey, even if you go to Vrindavan Dham, then Krishna will arrange that. But if our relationship with the spiritual master is very shallow, then Krishna will just, that also. So it is based on what we want, what attachment we have. Like His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj said, ki I don't know about Vrindavan Dham, wherever Srila Prabhupada is, I want to go and serve there with him. So similarly, if we have desire like that, I want to serve Krishna with my spiritual master, Krishna will arrange that based on our attachment and dedication. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Oh, Vrindavan, we will go together Vrindavan. But you are planning to go take 2-3 lives, so we are now a little bit confused. So, okay, so we have, at least we know the plans. We have the right plan and capacities. Anyway, the living entity is so fragile. We anyway, as living entity Jivatma, we do not have any capacity. We are solely dependent on mercy of Srimati Radharani and Guru Parampara. What capacity we have? Anyway, going to Vrindavan Dham, we do not have any capacity. It is like a sparrow trying to get into moon. The scientists are not able to reach to moon, and what a sparrow can reach. But imagine the sparrow takes help of a Garuda, then one can. So our hope is Garudev, Hanumanji, Srila Prabhupada, the Guru Parampara, Rupa Goswami, and ultimately Srimati Radharani. So our hope is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radharani. If we take the shelter, capacity wise, we do not have any capacity. We are not even sparrows. But if we take their shelter, Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu's shelter, definitely in this life itself, they have come for that purpose. And if they don't fulfill their purpose, then what purpose they came? Right? They have come for the purpose of delivering the fallen souls. And more fallen they will not get like us. We are the most fallen lot, because we are fallen, but we don't consider ourselves as fallen. This is the biggest qualification of being fallen. And that though we are the most fallen, but we consider we are very advanced, very civilized. And that's why we are the most best candidate for Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So if we do not go to spiritual world, then Lord Chaitanya's mercy will not be effective. It is a blemish on the name of Lord Chaitanya. And that is why definitely we are supposed to go to spiritual world. If we take the shelter of Lord Chaitanya. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Yes, I think we should end here now. Dev Malya Prabhu has the last question, what he is asking. Let us hear from Dev Malya Prabhu.
My question was almost similar. You already gave like around 40-50% of answer of it. Okay, so like we have a contaminated heart, right? And so because of that time, because of this, sometimes we do some aparadh while staying in Krishna consciousness. So how to overcome this? And also like how can I differentiate between, because you are telling like we have some failures, but Krishna is not writing our failures, right? But now like how can I differentiate these failures with wrong deeds or any bad karma?
So that is,
sometimes what happens, like I feel like the failure also happens because of our own bad things also. If we do any bad work or something like that.
yeah, so we may be failing on all those things, but so our focus should not be on the failures, because imagine in a year we would be failing in the beginning 3-4 times, 5 times, but as soon as years pass, we remain more steady. We may be failing once in a year, twice in a year, then maybe after 5 years failing only once in a year or once in 2 years. So like that the tendency of failing will go down. So and then we'll become more pure and pure and pure. So the mind's nature is I am going to remain like this, but we are going to change if we are chanting Hare Krishna nicely. But sometimes devotees don't chant Hare Krishna nicely, and that is why the purification doesn't happen. Whatever happens, failure or not failure or whatever it is, let us chant the Hare Krishna nicely. I am just recently reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the story comes of a Brahmana from Assam, the real story which Parikshit says to Uttara. So this Brahmana from Assam, he used to worship Kamakhya Devi. And this Brahmana used to worship Kamakhya Devi for need of wealth. But Kamakhya Devi somehow came in his dream and gave him mantra, Madan Gopal mantra, to worship Madan Gopal. And he started worshipping Madan Gopal, but very seriously, because he has love for Kamakhya Devi. He doesn't have love for Gopal. So he has love for Kamakhya Devi, and because Kamakhya Devi gave him this Gopal mantra, he started chanting the Gopal mantra. So and then because he is chanting the Gopal mantra, and he loves Kamakhya Devi, and he loves wealth. But the power of Gopala mantra is that he lost all interest in wealth, he lost all interest in his family, everything, and he renounced. He left Assam only. The power of the mantra. So one has to understand, similarly, we have no interest about Krishna. We may have some respect for the spiritual master, but if we chant the mantra, Sanatana Goswami says that this is the power of mantra. So we have to understand we also have got the mantra from the Guru Parampara, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If we chant the mantra very intensely, very sincerely, then even if you do not have love for Krishna, do not have higher goal in life, but that intense chanting will help us to go ahead in life. We will soon lose all interest for all the things of this world, become very, very pure, right? So at least one thing a devotee should do, that be as attentive as possible in chanting the mantra. So that's what the story of Brihad Bhagavatam begins. So maybe we can discuss in Yatra or something. Very nice story, Brihad Bhagavatam. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Much importance is given to Guru Parampara and finding a spiritual Guru. Now in our practical life, we have selected you, rather it is being consented by spirituality or the knowledge that you are our spiritual master. And that is the one thing I want to confirm from you, that we did not search for gurus and all.
Yeah, we have, I am not spiritual master, I am simply all of your servant. Our spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada, and our spiritual master is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Sada Goswamis. And under them we are serving in different capacity. I am trying to serve all of you as all of your servants. So our spiritual master, we are all reading from Srila Prabhupada's books. We are taking Siksha from him. And later on, as we become more serious, follow the 4 regulative principles, chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra more seriously, then we also get initiated in this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Guru Sisya Sampradaya. So I am trying.
But then do we have to search for?
We do not have to search. We have already got Srila Prabhupada.
I don't think it will be a futile search.
No, we do not have to search. We have got Srila Prabhupada as our spiritual master. We read Srila Prabhupada's books very nicely. You are in Tarun Prabhu's reading group. Try to read Srila Prabhupada's book very, very nicely. And you will see that you will definitely get Krishna in this life. So personally, I was also in a search. And I saw so many sadhus, so many gurus, though I wanted to practice spiritual life, but I never felt it nice seeing the condition of the sadhus and spiritual masters of this world. But when I came in touch with Srila Prabhupada's books, when I came in touch with devotees who are representing Srila Prabhupada nicely, all my search ended. And I felt that here is a person who is not trying to impress the world. He is just trying to impress and serve Krishna. Whether the world is impressed or not, that doesn't matter. Srila Prabhupada was asked that, Swamiji, if you just reduce one regulative principle, then you can have so many more disciples. And Srila Prabhupada said, I am not here to make any disciples. I am here to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by speaking the pure message. Whether one person follows, 2% follows, or the whole world follows, I am least bothered about it. This is something which really touched my heart about Srila Prabhupada, that this person is not after making any followers or impressing the world. He never spoke to impress the world. He just spoke to serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, if we fall in love with Srila Prabhupada's books, that is our connection with Srila Prabhupada, and that is our connection with the Guru Parampara. So we must read Srila Prabhupada's books. This is my only instruction for those who are my students, to read Srila Prabhupada's books and to fall in love with Srila Prabhupada's books. And definitely at the end of the life, we will find Srila Prabhupada coming to help all of us back to Sri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Prabhupada would be waiting and with a garland in his hand to put on our neck into Vrindavan Dham, and if we are intelligent, we will snatch that garland and put it on Srila Prabhupada and fall at the feet of Srila Prabhupada while entering Sri Vrindavan Dham. So Srila Prabhupada is our...
One more thing, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
One more thing, you had uttered two mantras I could not follow. That is the Shanti mantra. Om
Punnamidam, yeah.
Punnamudachyate.
Yeah.
Punnamada, Punnameva Vashishyate. What is the meaning of these two lines? It is, I think, connected with Shanti mantra.
Yeah, so this is the mantra which comes from Isopanishad, which says that the Lord is supreme whole. Anything taken out from the Lord remains supreme, and anything added with the Lord remains supreme. Anything connected with the Lord is supreme and whole, complete. The world is complete, Lord is complete, just like we are a part of Lord, but because we have come out from the Supreme Lord Krishna, doesn't think that Krishna is now insufficient. We are here in material world, but Krishna is complete in spiritual world. And if we go back to spiritual world, it's not that Krishna will be happy, oh, now Sri Nitai Das has come back, now I will do more service and more things can happen. No. Whether we are in spiritual world, whether in material world, hardly matters to Krishna. Krishna is complete in himself. That's why Krishna is also called Atmaram. Though Krishna is complete in himself, still Krishna wants us back so that it is for our benefit. So the purport of this mantra is that one becomes sant, one becomes santi, one attains peace when one understands that Krishna is complete. He doesn't need me, I need Krishna in life. The world is complete. Okay? Yes? And for more reference, you can ask Tarun Prabhu, and also you can read Isopanishad, the first shloka. This comes in Isopanishad. I will tell Tarun Prabhu to send you across. Okay?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.